Hey everyone, Random Randy here. In today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make the Rosie wrap, which is a retro pinup style ear warmer slash headband. It is adjustable and it has these cute little rabbit ears that stick off of it that, with the way they're made, they are mildly posable once you have it on. So let's dive right into what you will need. To make this project, you will need some yarn. In this example, I am using worsted weight yarn. I have some leftover Big Twist Sincerely in Cupcake Confetti. And I have some tan cream sandy brown that's just a Hirschner's worsted 8. These are both acrylic yarns. You will also need tape measure, a 5mm or H hook, pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. Now this pattern may seem intimidating because there are a lot of rows in it. However, the rows are a lot of just repeats. They are very short rows because rather than working it the long way, we're actually working short rows back and forth to shape the edging for the ears. To get started, we're going to be making a slip knot, leaving about 4 to 6 inch tail for weaving in your end. To make a slip knot, you just wrap the yarn around your finger, take a loop, pull it through, cinch it down, slip it over your hook, my terribly mangled, chewed on by a toddler hook, and you just cinch the yarn right down to your hook. Alright, so to get started, we're going to begin by chaining 3. So you yarn over, pull through the loop that's already on the hook, that is 1 chain. Yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. Now you have your beginning 3 chains. Alright, so official row 1. We're going to be putting a single crochet stitch into the 2nd chain from the hook. Single crochet, you just go through the stitch with your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, so now there are 2 on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. That is a single crochet stitch. We're going to do that in the last chain that's remaining. Through the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So now you have your first row complete. You have 2 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We are doing the increase rows right now to shape the rabbit ear on one side. So we are going to do a single crochet increase into this first single crochet stitch, which means we're going to actually do 2 single crochets. So through the stitch, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets into that first stitch, and now in the 2nd single crochet from the last row, we're just going to do 1 more single crochet. That gives you a total of 3 single crochet stitches for row 2. Chain 1, turn the work, 2 single crochets into the first stitch yet again, 1 and 2, and the remaining 2 single crochets will each get 1 single crochet in them. So at the end of this row, you will have 4 single crochet stitches. Now we're going to chain 1, turn our work again, row 4, again 2 single crochet into the first stitch, and every other stitch in the row just gets 1 single crochet. So as you can see, the increase pattern is kind of intuitive for a while. So now at the end of that row, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet stitches. Chain 1, turn, row 5, 2 single crochets into the first single crochet, and the remaining stitches all get 1 single crochet. And if I'm going too fast, this pattern is still beginner friendly, but I'm assuming by now that you know all of the basic stitches. If you do not, I do have a beginner Crochet Crash Course 101 video which teaches you all of the basic stitches. So if you aren't really comfortable with chain single crochets, double crochets, and slip stitch, because those are the only stitches that you really need in order to make this pattern, head on over to that video, which I will link here in a card, get some practice in, and come back. So now we are at the end of row 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets. You can see how it's starting to take on the pointed shape here. Row 6, chain 1, turn, 2 single crochets into the first stitch, and every other stitch in the row is so lucky because it gets 1 single crochet. Hello, cat. So now at the end of row 6, we have 7 single crochet stitches. Chain 1 and turn, and this is the last increase row for this rabbit ear portion. So as with all the others, 2 single crochets into that first stitch, and 1 single crochet into all the rest until you get to the end of the row. Now we are at the end of row 7. You should have 8 single crochet stitches. Now we are going to form the body of the first rabbit ear. Going to chain 1 and turn. So for row 8, going to just do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across to the end. So there's our first body row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to do rows 9, 10, and 11 exactly the same as that. Just 1 single crochet all the way across, 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across, chain 1 and turn. So that is row 9. Now do 2 more rows that are exactly the same, just single crochet across, chain 1, turn at the end, and once you've completed all 4 body rows, meet me back here and we will get on with the decreases for the ear and the rest of the ear warmer. So now we have reached the end of row 11, and as with all the rows before, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to start our decrease rows to form that nifty pointed oval shape. Row 12, we're going to single crochet 2 together and single crochet the rest of the way across. So single crochet 2 together, you put your hook through the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch without completing it, yarn over, pull up another loop, yarn over, so now you have 4 loops on the hook, and just pull through all 3. And that's going to start bringing the shape back down to a more narrow point again. So single crochet in every stitch until the end of the row. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. Row 13, we're going to start it off the same way. We're going to single crochet 2 together and then just regular crochet in all the other stitches across. At the end of row 13, you should have 6 single crochet stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Now row 14, going to single crochet 2 together and single crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. And that will leave you with 5 single crochet stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Row 15, last decrease, single crochet 2 together and single crochet in each stitch across. So we will be back to 4 single crochet stitches, and as you can see, we've got the nifty rabbit ear shape now. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and for the next 4 rows, rows 16 through 19, just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, chain 1 at the end and turn. So you will do 3 more rows just like that. Once you have completed that, meet me back here and we will start off row 20, which will become the actual body of the scarf. Once you have completed row 19, chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to be increasing to make the wider portion of the ear warmer that will actually cover your ears. So we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way across. So at the end of the row, you will have 8 stitches instead of 4. So now we have 8 single crochet stitches. We're going to chain 1, turn the work, and we're going to do 2 single crochets into the first single crochet, then 1 single crochet into the next. Going to repeat that across, so the next stitch will be an increase, 2 single crochets, then 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and the last is just 1 lonely little single crochet stitch. So now at the end of row 21 you should have 12 stitches. At the end of this row, rather than chaining 1, we are going to chain 2 because the next row we're going to start doing double crochets. So chain 2, turn the work, and you're going to do a double crochet into every stitch all the way across. Double crochet, in case you don't know, yarn over, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, so now you have 3, yarn over once more, pull through the middle 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So you're going to do that all the way across. As you can see, it has gotten significantly wider. Now for the fun part. I'm going to chain 2, and you're going to just keep doing a 12 stitch double crochet row until the ear warmer is as long as you need it to be to fit around your head. In my case, the entire centerpiece, starting right here from the last increase row that you did, all the way until the end, needed to be 20 inches long. That gave me just enough space to be able to tie the whole thing around my head once I had it all finished. That is what you need the measuring tape for. So you're going to want to pause the video here and just keep soldiering on, doing your double crochet rows back and forth until the piece is as long as you need it to be. So now I have finally finished the body portion of the wrap, and measuring from right here, which is the first double crochet row in the body after you were done with the increases, measuring from there to the end, it came out to 20 inches, which is just perfect for me. If you are making it for somebody with a smaller or larger head, just do less rows for the body portion or more rows for the body portion accordingly. And now we're going to do the other rabbit ear and finish up the pattern. So on that last row, instead of chaining 2 to turn, we're going to only chain 1, because all of our decreases are going to be done in single crochets. So chain 1, turn the work. We're going to single crochet 2 together. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet 2 together, single crochet in the next stitch. Going to repeat that all the way across so that we will end up with 8 stitches again at the end of the row. So now at the end of the row we have 8 single crochet stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn the work. Doing another decrease row, we're going to just do single crochet 2 togethers all the way across. So single crochet 2 together 4 times, so at the end of the row you will have 4 stitches instead of 8. And now we are back down to 4 stitches. So we're going to chain 1, and turn. And we're going to do 4 rows of just single crochet stitches straight across. This forms the portion where you will actually tie the knot in the headband. Chain 1, turn. So there's the 4. So now that we are done with those 4 rows, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a few increase rows to make the wider portion of the second rabbit ear. So chain 1 and turn. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the first stitch and 1 in the remaining 3 across. So we'll have 5 single crochets at the end of that row. Chain 1 and turn. 2 single crochets into the first stitch again, and 1 in each of the remaining 4. That will leave us with 6 single crochet stitches. Chain 1 and turn. 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 in each of the remaining stitches across. So now we have 7 single crochet stitches, chain 1 and turn, 2 single crochets into the first stitch, and 1 in every other stitch across. So now we're back at 8 stitches again, and we're going to do 4 rows just back and forth with 8 stitches each. Chain 1 and turn, and just single crochet in every stitch for 4 rows. So now we have reached the end of the 4th row for the body of the second rabbit ear, and we are going to do our decreases and the edging, and we'll be all done. So chain 1 and turn. Now we are going to do a single crochet 2 together and 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So now we're at 7 stitches, chain 1, turn, single crochet the first 2 stitches together, single crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. That leaves us with 6 stitches, chain 1, turn, single crochet the first 2 stitches together, 1 in each of the rest of the row. Now we are down to 5 single crochets, chain 1 and turn, single crochet the first 2 together, 1 in each of the remaining 3. That puts us at 4 stitches, chain 1 and turn, single crochet the first 2 together, single crochet in each of the remaining 2 stitches, so that puts us at 3 single crochet stitches now, chain 1 and turn, single crochet the first 2 together, As soon as we finish this row, we are going to start our edging once we turn. So after you've done the single crochet 2 together, we're going to start a single crochet stitch in the last stitch. Going to cut our yarn. If you're doing it all in the same yarn, you don't have to do this, but since I'm using a different color for the edging, I'm going to cut it here. If you're using the same color, just bear with me for a moment while I do this. Snip the yarn. And going to do the jogless seamless color join here. So I have the 2 loops from the start of my stitch on the hook. And I'm just going to drop the tail off, take my new yarn that's going to be the edging, loop it over, and pull it through here to complete that stitch. Now, going to take the working yarn and chain 1, going to turn the work so that we can go around the edge here. Now you can tuck your tails underneath if you would like to weave in your ends. Personally, I prefer to actually sew them in. I feel that they're more secure, but I usually do tack it down behind the first few stitches. So essentially all you're going to do now to edge your wrap is do a single crochet around the edge of the entire piece of work. So you just go right into the stitch as if you were continuing to work it. Tucking that tail in there. And since this is actually a corner, after doing the first 2 single crochets, I like to do 2 there so that it will go more seamlessly around without it bending and buckling weird because there aren't enough stitches holding it in place. I find that doing the edging on the single crochet part is easy, but a lot of people get confused or mixed up once they get to the portion where you're going along the edges of double crochet stitches. So we'll get through the edge here where there's single crochets. Pretty much you just want to put a single crochet wherever there is a space on the edge. As you can see there. Just keep going anywhere you find a space along the edge. Of course, I wound the ball of yarn too tight, so it's not going to just let go. You want to make sure that you don't skip any spaces that you see. It's better to have 1 or 2 extra stitches around the edge, in my opinion, than to not have enough. Because like I said, you don't want to have your piece to buckle and bow because you skipped a spot. Almost there. There we go. All right. So, as you can see here, this is a double crochet stitch along the edge here, and there are several holes. I found the best rule of thumb when you're doing a single crochet edging along double crochet is to use 2 single crochet stitches for each double crochet you come across. For example, this one right here. There's a space here and a space here. So we're going to do a single crochet in the top space and in the next space down. And you just want to keep going like that all the way around the entire piece of work. You want to do your single crochet edging a little bit loosely because just as with if you were to skip putting a stitch in a space along the outer edge. If you crochet too tightly when you're doing this, it's going to make your edges buckle and it's going to look funky when you're done. So just keep continuing like this all the way around the edge of the ear warmer, and I will meet you when you're done so that we can finish it off together. And I just wanted to finish up the last of the edging with you to show you some of the spots where I do extra stitches just to keep everything straight and happy and moving along smoothly. See, there's this big space here in the corner. That's one of those places that I put 2 stitches. And as you can see, where the edges looked raw and bumpy and weird before, now it looks much more finished and smooth and pretty much the way that we want it to. Alright, so here, back around to the first one that we did, where we did our color change on our chain 1. I'm going to put one more right here in this space, then slip stitch to that first single crochet. And see how it gives it a nice clean edge. Gonna trim the yarn, leave however much you're comfortable with weaving in. I usually go with about 4 or 6 inches just because I like to make sure it's good and snug. And then to make sure my edge is ultra secure, I actually like to slip stitch into the next stitch and then pull the tail all the way through. So now, because of the way I tucked the tails as I went, this one I could weave in a bit more. I probably will. I've got these ones here, and I actually completely concealed somewhere along here. Yeah, there's the end of it right there. This tiny little bump is what's left of the tail from where we actually started it. So go ahead and weave in your ends now, since we've got the edging completely finished, and I will show you the easiest way to tie it, and then you can style it however you'd like. And now that the ends are all tied in and the Rosie wrap is complete, one of the nice things about doing the single crochet edging along the outside of it, you could leave it raw if you wanted to. I feel that it looks much neater this way, but one of the nice things about the single crochet edging is now you know which side is the right side, so it makes it much easier to tie. So the easiest way to tie it, you can actually tie it while it's on your head. That's probably the best way. But these thin little portions here in between the rabbit ears are the parts that you're going to put together to actually tie your knot. And it's really just essentially actually tying a knot. It may take some adjusting to get it to pull through because the ears are quite thick, but once you get it cinched down to that thinner portion, then you can adjust it however you want to. There we go. A little bit of tweaking, a little bit of adjusting. And there you go. Your Rosie Wrap Retro Pinup Style Ear Warmer is complete and ready for an evening out or for wearing around the house to keep your hair out of your face. because if you're anything like me, your bangs get in your eyes all the time and it is so obnoxious. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions at all about the pattern, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will be getting the written pattern up at some point soon. I'm kind of in crazy craft sale prep mode right now, but taking a little bit of time out to do this has recharged my energy, I feel like. So, like I said, if you have any questions or any concerns or anything about the pattern isn't working out for you, let me know and I will try to clarify as best as I can. And enjoy wearing your lovely Rosie wrap. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.